So comfort is something that is feeling good in the body, right? To be comfortable, often it feels good for us. Often we feel safe when we're comfortable, depending on the person, right? Some people don't like feeling comfortable, but that familiar thing that is comforting to you. This is just an illusion of comfort, right? You lay in a comfortable bed, you have a comfortable pillow, of course, this is nice. You have your favorite blanket, you have your favorite sweatpants, sweater, whatever. This is nice. But what I'm more speaking about is the illusory nature of your comforts and how this is relating to depression, how this is relating to relationships, how this is relating to your relationship to yourself, your relationship to others, and how this can really deteriorate your well-being, or maybe your vision, or an intention that you set and that you set forth to do. One of the main aspects of this that I have come to understand as I've sat with myself in contemplation, as I've contemplated certain things in my life that have made me feel very uncomfortable, that have made me feel insecure, right? I love to address my insecurities because I feel they are so limiting to my joy in my life or to my harmonious relationships. So when an insecurity arises in a moment, especially an inopportune moment where I'm trying to be in a good vibe or I'm trying to be happy, this is where I've realized how much I actually appreciate facing my insecurities head on, being honest with myself in that respect, so that I can create a harmonious relationship with these insecurities, with the reason why the insecurities have manifest over time, with an understanding of the nature of the insecurity, things of this nature. So, comfort. How does this relate to comfort? When you are honest with yourself, it can be very uncomfortable. You can come up with all sorts of rationalizations, with all sorts of reasons, you might call them excuses, as to why you don't do the uncomfortable thing that you know you should do, or why you choose to be lazy or choose to do something in a way that in the back of your mind you know is not the proper way, right? Like, what is the proper way anyways? I'm not trying to be all prim and proper here and push that on anybody, but really the difference that it makes for me, for example, to wake up and to make my bed, the difference that it makes for me to wake up and drink water, the difference that it makes for me to wake up and actually connect with the earth, to actually put my feet in the ground, to actually be receiving sunlight. That's for me personally. Some people don't like that, right? You have your own personal thing that makes you feel as though you are recharging, that you are connecting in a meaningful way with yourself, with your environment, that you are knowing for a fact, without a doubt, this is the right thing to do for myself at this time. But sometimes we rationalize, or we come up with reasons why we shouldn't do that, or like why it's okay to not do the right thing, right? And often it is because it feels more comfortable. It feels more comfortable to, let's say, stay on your phone and just keep watching videos. And even if they're good videos, even if they're videos that nurture you, that make you feel positive, I know for myself, there comes a time where I have to really close the phone, close the laptop, close the whatever, and I must go out and connect. And truly, this can be challenging sometimes if I am in a certain energy, or if I'm processing something. It's not the top of my list when I'm feeling some type of way to go outside, we'll say. And this is just an example, right? But you can relate this to your life and to whatever your experience might be, right? Just plug it in. So what I'm really communicating is that comfort that you're experiencing is just an illusion. And truly, it is not actually comfortable to do this to yourself, to choose to behave in a way that goes against what you know your needs are. And what ends up manifesting when you choose comfort, or the illusion of comfort, is you face the consequences, which are usually feeling those insecurities or feeling like a dip in your energy, right? For example, you wake up and you had the option to drink water and maybe make yourself some breakfast, like, some fruits, or perhaps you wanted to make yourself a bowl of oatmeal. I don't really like oatmeal like that, but this is just an example, okay? So you wake up and you do this, but for some reason one morning you decided that today was a day that you were going to go drink some Minute Maid juice, and instead of drinking water, you just drank juice from the carton, and instead of eating some nuts or some oatmeal, you chose to eat a bag of chips, or you chose to eat like what was left of your bag of chips, some cookies, right? Maybe you woke up at 12 o'clock and it's afternoon, so why not eat snacks? You're gonna feel the consequences of doing that. But why do we engage in that behavior? Because when you consume that, you are receiving dopamine, you're receiving instant gratification, which I've talked about, and this is one of the main reasons why we are never progressing in the ways that we need to, and that we would like to, and that we envision ourselves, is this instant gratification, right? This comfort, this illusory comfort. So you're going to face the consequences of that. You're going to feel perhaps not as energized if you woke up and you drank a glass of water, if you woke up and you took a walk and then made yourself some pancakes, right? Even that, because you're putting more of your love into it. You're putting love into actually doing something good for yourself, as opposed to just popping open a bag of chips, consuming it, and then you're still hungry, you're probably dehydrated. And over time, if you do this every day for a week or a month or a year, you could imagine what that's actually going to do to your physical body, not receiving nutrients, maybe eating excessively, whatever the case may be. It's not sustainable, and it's not actually giving your body what it needs to function properly, like for your brain to function, for you to have a clear mind. And this is the feeling that we all want. We want this clarity. We want to feel open. We want to feel free. So, a very basic example. Another example that I could give you is the comfort of trying to control a situation, right? So, for example, maybe you have friends who are engaging in something that you don't necessarily like to do. And maybe it's comfortable for you to follow the crowd. Maybe it's comfortable for you to please people, make them happy. So instead of doing what you know yourself is not the right thing, or is not going to make you feel closer to yourself, in alignment with yourself and with what you truly want for yourself, and instead you opt out and do what you know is going to make everybody else happy, there's consequences to that. This is some form of self-abandonment. It sounds very intense when I put it that way, but really, you're abandoning your needs and your desires for the desires of other beings who are desiring that thing that you don't desire. So that's not necessarily necessary. You know, you don't have to do that, but you might feel inclined to do that. Maybe when you choose yourself, or when you choose to do the right thing for yourself, people give you a hard time. Or maybe it's familiar, right? It's comfortable. You're used to it. Your body is used to this mode. So when you shift yourself out of it, you experience discomfort. You experience some kind of resistance to this, which is not a bad thing, right? Sometimes we really believe, or we've been taught to believe even, that resistance, that, you know, these quote unquote negative experiences are bad, that by nature they are bad, we should avoid them. But truly, this resistance is necessary. You need to face resistance in order to actually have any positive experience at all. And this is why the opposite of resistance, or like seeking out that comfort, seeking that easy route, is actually not even going to allow you to continue to have those pleasant experiences, those experiences that you're feeling truly, honestly, wholeheartedly at peace with yourself, or in a state where you're pleased with yourself, where you're proud of yourself, where you believe in yourself. So let's say you've chosen over and over and over again to opt out for the thing that is comfortable, for the thing that is familiar, for the thing that does not have any resistance to it. You're not going to make anybody else uncomfortable. Your body's attuned to this, right? So let's say over time you've chosen to do this, and after some time of experiencing this, you are feeling some type of way. And so now you have to take it a step further. You have to either choose comfort by way of diverting your attention from what needs to be addressed, by masking the consequences of choosing things that are comforting with more comforting things, thus deepening this illusion within your own mind, deepening this sense of insecurity, or whatever might have manifested that isn't necessarily you at your best, right? So this diversion, this ignorance of what you are feeling truly, and this masking it has the potential to cause a lot of grief, a lot of feelings of shame, a lot of feelings of guilt. Ultimately, this range of emotions, of negative emotions, that we are calling depression. So at some point, you have the option to choose to take a good look at yourself, to be honest with yourself, and to see very clearly what it is that must change, what must be released, what must be purified within your being. And this experience can be very uncomfortable, right? And you're already attuned to choosing what's comfortable. So now you may find yourself in a position, or you may see people that you care about in a position where they are not aware of how to even address or assess their current position. So this is a state where you are unaware, or you are aware and you are choosing to continue that cycle. So this is why I share this with you, to bring you awareness, or to encourage you to really choose what is uncomfortable, because in the long run, this is going to serve you. This will prevent you from experiencing all of these negative emotions, all of these deep-seated insecurities, born of things that are probably not even your fault, truly. But it takes courage, it takes strength, it takes awareness, it takes discipline to really choose that. And the number one thing that helps me choose discipline, to choose discomfort over comfort every single time, is knowing, experiencing the bliss of discomfort, the bliss that comes from actually witnessing what results from this, from engaging these things. You actually love these things. You just don't know because you haven't experienced it, because you've been taught things that are ultimately just illusory, that are ultimately just a lie. It's a lie. It really is. If you felt for yourself how incredible, how relieving, how liberating it is to go forth and do something that is unfamiliar, such as a meditative experience, such as opening your hips, such as taking a walk, right? Or whatever it is for you, because you very well might be that person who is well versed in all these things. You could be the guy or the girl or the man or the woman who is, drinking the water and making the better decisions. But we can also take it a step further. There is no end to the depths in which we can actually experience this. So it's up to you. Do you want to remain in the same place that you've been? Or are you like myself? Do you want to continue to evolve? Do you want to continue to progress? It is our nature to continue progressing. And oftentimes, the reason we feel down on ourselves, or the reason we feel lost, or the reason we feel boxed in, is because we're not taking that extra step. We are way too comfortable. So try it out. Try it for yourself. See for yourself. Identify that thing for you. And know, experience for yourself, but take it from me when I say it is far more gratifying to do the thing that you are resisting to do because your body is familiar with that old thing, or that thing that gets you nowhere, or that makes you regress. It is far more gratifying. It feels way better in the body. It feels way better in your mind. It feels way better on a soul level. It feels way better for humanity. The people around you are elevated, right? So when you elevate, everybody else is elevating as well. This gives you a sense of purpose. This gives you a sense of connection, community. These are all necessary things for us to be healthy human beings, or healthy beings on this earth. So I don't care if you are the most advanced person or you see yourself as somebody who's more than willing. Take it a step further. Challenge yourself to bear witness to what it is that you've been avoiding, really, as far as your growth. This is what I must do. And when I see myself in those positions, when I witness myself in this sort of stagnancy, I don't think downward about myself. I lift myself up. I think upwardly about who I am, about my soul, about what I know I'm capable of all the things that I have created, not to get lost in all these things that I've already done, but truly to honor myself, to honor my soul, to give myself some respect and genuine love for who I am, outside of this incessant, genuine desire for me personally to continue to progress or to refine my skills, right? You don't got to get down on yourself. I think this is one of the most discomforting things about facing the consequences of always choosing what's comfortable. It's, you feel bad about yourself and you don't want to look at that. People, of course, nobody's going to want to feel that feeling of shame, or if you have like a really negative relationship to addressing these things. Sometimes this is automatic. You don't even know that this is happening. And it's because you're afraid, or there's fear that is arising from, really experiencing the shame and the guilt. Like, a lot of us have had enough of that, like enough with the shame and the guilt and the feeling sorry for ourselves, or the feeling sorry for things that ultimately you have control over. Enough of focusing on the things that you don't have control over. People, places, like situations, like you don't have control over those things. Why not redirect your energy and your power inward, upward, as opposed to do what is never going to work, which is point outside of yourself or try to manipulate and coerce the external just so that you feel comfortable. It's never gonna work. It's an illusion. It truly is an illusion. So I appreciate you for watching, and I trust all is well. If it's not all well, I trust that you're going to move forward. You're going to move forward. You're going to move upward. So, yes. Peace.